Okay, let's see if Twitch is going to be nice to me today. Has been very nice to me lately, but I always gotta double check, yo. Yep. And that's why I double check. There you are. Okay. Looks like we are good. Alright. Hello and welcome, dear patrons, to the Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. Today, our DM is Benny, or Autis DM on TikTok, and today we shall be continuing the tale of Oceans Ablaze. If you guys are interested in seeing some other content or other stuff we do, either go visit Vods of Valhalla or go visit our Patreon. And a huge shout out to our $3 Patreon, Pastry Boy Fritter. If you guys want to go check that out, just go there, and you guys can help us create other creatures, NPCs, towns, and other things like that in most of my campaigns. And yeah, Benny, if you'd like to take the floor.
All right. Well, thank you so much for having me on, and especially I know schedules have been very difficult the last couple of weeks, so the fact that you all made the time is really a big deal. And of course, anybody watching, thank you for making the time to join us. So where we had left off, the party had successfully infiltrated the city of Spathen. They are trying to rescue the kidnapped princess and bring her back to her home of Troyanoa, and in so doing, avoid a war between the two cities that would undoubtedly drag most of the surrounding cities and nations down with them, which has been an awkward proposition because most of this group are more adept at creating mayhem and violence than they are at stopping it, but fate plays strange tricks. So you all are at the inn. You know you're going to be going to the palace essentially later in the day. We'll say it's early in the morning and you're just waking up. And you know that you're not going to be allowed to carry much in with you. So, for example, the princess you're going to be visiting as a diplomat, you would probably be allowed to carry something like a side sword, but stuff like full armor or full battle array would be frowned upon in this situation. You could wear something like light armor, but something like plate would be off the table. Now, before we go any further, we're going to do our round of introductions of everyone here. And the question of the day, in addition to introducing your character's race and classes, if your character had one use of the wish spell, what would they do with it? And we're going to go ahead and start with, I'll say, Ace.
So Ace is a human, and because we're doing a what's the name of our campaign
Gestalt.
style? Gestalt, thank you. We're doing a Gestalt campaign. He is a rogue swashbuckler level 5, as well as a warlock hexblade level 5. As I say, he was a human. He's kind of a smuggler, and he's generally kind of more or less down to earth and kind of sees everyone as necessities more than he sees anything else. If he had one use of the wish spell, it would probably be he would wish that his name would never be forgotten from the annals of history ever in the future.
All right. And next we'll go to Marina Oceanstar.
So Marina is just lost her sheet. Is a lore and a circle of the shepherd druid, trident princess. And if she had the wish spell, knowing her, she would likely use it to make she'd make current events similar to her stories. Make it that the war wouldn't happen at all. That people will understand that you don't have to fight out everything. That's probably what she'd use the wish spell for. Or make it so, the lovely gods would stop taking people underwater.
And speaking of which, Signa.
Hello. So, Signa is a fighter rogue multiclass, and she was an elf, and now she's the Dampier, the not vampires. And what she'd wish for after all of this time on her long trip and seeing the various powers of the world unfolding before her eyes is she would try to use the wish spell to sort of isolate the mortals or the material plane from the influence of outside beings a little bit, like her elder gods, for example, as she's just come to the conclusion that at this point these creatures are doing a lot more harm than good. The cult we found in that church that we destroyed coming to mind as well. So
Fair enough. And finally, Locke.
Locke is a goblin, artificer, artillerist, alchemist, mad bomber. And if Locke had access to the wish spell, well, I think he would be. I think he would wish for, I guess, access to more advanced research materials, more knowledge on what he's been trying to do.
Okay.
Like one of those like limitless libraries, basically Magic Google.
Right. Okay. All right. So you all are essentially at breakfast, or you've just had breakfast, and you're preparing to set off for the palace. You know they're not going to just usher you in and let you talk to the prince directly or the king directly. There's going to be a certain amount of essentially pageantry, and also they'll definitely keep you waiting for a while as just a show of influence and authority. What are you all doing to prepare for your upcoming mission here?
We're still in the room, right?
That's correct.
Guys, I got an idea.
Should we be concerned?
Maybe. I don't know. But here's what I'm thinking. Right? Now, I remember Signa using some invisibility magic. Right? You could still do that, right?
yes, I do still have that guard's eyelashes.
That poor guard. Did you ever apologize to him for stealing his eyelashes?
Didn't we kill him? It's a little hard for me to do that. I don't think he goes to the same place that the people who
He
my
was
gods
stabbed
take him.
several times.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
he probably got what he
I thought that
deserved.
was
Anyway.
someone else.
Look, it's fine. These will keep working.
Anyways, here's what my plan is. You three go into the palace. And I'm going to actually find my way back out into the city. And I'm going to cause a disturbance. But it needs to be timed at the right moment so that there's a distraction so that you guys can knock out the princess, turn her invisible, and get her the fuck out of there. What do you think?
I see the problem that we're not guaranteed to meet the princess in this particular excursion necessarily, especially as if we're meeting the king. Security is going to be especially tight. So, I mean, even if we do, if we're the people who are the last choice of kings and queens and the like to hire, I really don't want to meet the people who are the first choice of the kings and queens to hire for their security.
I mean, that is fair, but it shouldn't be too difficult to gets the princess alone, in theory, but we'll still have this bag of holding with some of our stuff we can bring in casually, and they shouldn't look at a princess's luggage.
Well, see,
So,
there's the hitch. There's the hitch in what you're saying. I'm gonna need the bag.
I can give it to you once we pass the guards.
Well, see,
I
the
believe
thing
we did
about that.
pass the guards.
Oh, we did. That's right. Yeah.
Well, see, the
Never
thing
mind.
is, let's just say I'm gonna be doing Let's just say I'm gonna be handing out some presents.
Is now the
And
time to point out that since I was brought back from the dead because of a certain someone's explosions, I haven't been able to tap into any of my magic, including invisibility. I just thought of that.
Can those presents not be explosives? I feel like we can deal with the situation on a diplomatic level.
you really think so?
I would
I mean, it's worth the
be
try.
I'd be hesitant to believe that such a large force as we saw outside can be dealt with diplomatically. But it might be a little bit easier to convince people diplomatic reasons if we are to not blow them sky high.
Not to be a fly in the ointment, but just as your storyteller, I feel I should point out you'd be able to get something like a purse or a non-magical backpack past the guards. If you're talking about security for a palace, they would recognize something like a bag of holding for what it is, and it would be very difficult to get that past them. You would be dealing with a lot of very awkward questions that would mostly involve them wanting to know what was in the bag.
What's it?
We could leave the bag here for now and instead put a lot of it into a different bag, for example. The princess can hold one of my bags, or I assume you have several luck, and that can have whatever tools or tricks that you might need. I doubt they'll search her bag. She doesn't look like I kind of look at him, kind of looking him up and down a little bit, like a mad alchemist.
Yeah, but they searched her bag just to get into this part of the city. You remember that, right?
Hmm.
I gave her the bag, and they went right into it.
Oh, they did grab the tackle.
Right. Fucking robbed me of a snack is what they did.
Well, since we
Alright.
already gotten past that security checkpoint, it might be redundant for them to do it again.
I don't know. What do you think, Princess? They usually do things like that over and over again.
Only when people enter or leave, just to make sure they didn't steal anything and are not sneaking in anything.
They might be looking at you the moment we step through to the palace itself.
I am shocked.
Possibly, but we'll see. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't actually been here myself.
Well,
Usually it's my parents that deal with the relations and politics and such.
you have the most experience with royal families, so I guess we're gonna have to follow your lead on this one then, because it sounds like there's really no guarantee that we even get to attempt the plan that I had. So
That's a fair point.
well, Your Majesty, I'm gonna suggest we leave my little bag of tricks back somewhere where
We can recover easily.
where we can recover it, but where it won't be noticed as a suspicious package.
Mm. I don't think we have one of those.
I'm going to say probably means we're going to have to leave it in this room.
We can put it under the bed.
Probably. Yeah.
Doubt they'll be checking it.
I don't think there's a loose floorboard you can put it under either.
Could make one.
There's almost nowhere to hide this. There's almost nowhere in these hoity-toity places to hide shit.
We'll shove it under the bed for now, then.
Suppose we will.
Okay.
All right, so the bag of holding is going under the bed. What gear are you all bringing or attempting to bring with you?
So I'll probably bring just my studded leather armor, as I assume that leather is something that they won't have much questions or concerns about. For show, I'll probably bring my scimitar on my hip, and then of course having my Giant Slayer longsword just inside my dimensional space. If they take away my scimitar, that's fine, but they'll probably assume that's the only weapon I have, considering I'll be wearing it. I'll be displaying it.
Fair enough. And Cygnus, same question.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my rapier by my side, but if that's not allowed in, I'm going to attempt to swallow a dagger without dying.
What?
Well, see, Signa doesn't need to breathe.
You're already dead.
Yeah, Signa doesn't need to breathe, so she can do this without suffocating, probably.
Just gonna casually be talking with a dagger down your throat?
Oh, no, but no one's going to expect the weird cultist to be the diplomatic one of the group, so...
You can just say that she's a mute.
That's true.
That works.
There for protection.
While they arm themselves, I'm going to take whatever time I have, and I'm going to pop out my my little traveling alchemist kit, and I'm going to make 2 potions of growth and 3 potions of healing.
Okay.
The potion of growth acts just like the enlarge spell, and I think healing is just a base health potion.
Okay. Go ahead and make an intelligence check as you do that.
That is a 17.
Right. On a 17, what you notice is that some of the lessons you've learned from Oliara, the departed alchemist who's been giving you lessons, some of those are sinking in, and you're understanding how to filter and purify ingredients in a way you didn't before. So I believe a base healing potion does something like, 1d4 plus 2 of healing or something like that. And
Something like that.
Instead of that, yours will do 2d8 plus 2. So you've got a much more powerful healing potion.
Damn. It's a nice potion.
And you said 2d8?
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
That was 2d8 plus what again?
Plus 2.
All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hand both of the growth potions to our frontliners, to Signa and Ace.
Okay.
If we run into trouble, let's just make bigger trouble. If you catch my meaning. And I'm going to hand them both to them.
Okay. He says potion of growth.
Yep.
And the potion of growth, instead of lasting for 1 minute, you're pretty sure it's going to last for at least 2 minutes.
Nice.
And somewhere in the corner of your vision where the rest of the party aren't seeing her, you see your tutor watching your work with expressions going from a very proud, they grow up so fast, back and forth between what's he going to do with this, with a very concerned air, just kind of whatever expression is a combination of those two things, that's what she has. Anyway. All right, so Signa has a dagger jammed down her throat. Ace has a magically hidden weapon as well as a weapon on his hip. Locke has, I'm guessing Locke is just putting these potions, he's handing these potions out to others, you said? Is that correct?
So the growth potions I handed out and the health potions, they're each going to get one. And so is Marina. And then I'm actually going to take, and I'm going to start breaking up some shit into the in the room, and I'm going to use a spell slot to summon an Eldritch Cannon. Do I want to protect us, or do I want to potentially make a lot of trouble?
I think protection might be the best bet at the moment.
Yes, but
Okay.
it is what we're talking about.
That's true.
The yeah, so the protector cannon, that I'm gonna pull up the actual what it does on my phone so that I have it in my actually on in front of me. But yeah, so you're gonna see you while you guys are doing everything, you hear like bits and pieces of the really nice furniture in here just being turned into splinters, and the spit and glue and maybe a little bit of bubble gum that sticks it all together, and with the power of bullshit and a doctorate in 7 different types of sciences, I command it to life.
While all this is going on, there's a knock on the door fairly firmly. What do you all do?
I'll look at Marina, kind of gesturing. You're the one. You go talk. Marina? Did her...
Sorry, I lost my phone for a second there. I'm here. I have to do this by myself.
You are the only one that's going to respect the words of. We're just kind of, the handy-dandy swords guards, Go talk.
Okay. And Marina will walk up. It's like, hello, my name is Marina Oceanstar.
So an extremely well-dressed elf in tailored attire is going to give a courtly bow and say, Your Highness, we heard a bit of concerning noises from the room. The mistress has sent me to go and check and make sure that everything is all right, nothing is amiss.
Oh, I'm greatly sorry. One of my guardsmen are quite crafty, and he likes to put together little doodads here and there. For my protection, of course, to make sure everything is steadfast and well kept. I do apologize. I will let him know to quiet it down a bit.
Trust that the room will be returned to its original condition before you check out?
Of course. If anything, even better how it was before.
Make a deception check.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Natural 1. Oh, I could hear your voice waver.
So tell us how this goes, Marina. Tell us how you're explaining to this person how everything's going to be just fine and you fail at that.
It's not a natural one.
Oh, it's not.
Oh, it's not? I'm sorry. I thought you said natural one.
No, I was
No,
gonna
he
make a
did.
joke, but it
Two.
was a 2, so
Thank you.
Okay, so
2
yeah.
plus 4.
Anyway, she would try to reassure them. It's like, well, it'll be probably in its better states. A few things here and there, but I'll work out the kinks, of course. He is a new guard of mine, so I can't tell exactly how the room will be. Maybe a few stains or a few chips in the wood. He's a bit of a rowdy goblin, but don't we all have a rowdy moment, don't you know? They tell it all in the stories. But nonetheless, I digress. I'll deal with it.
So
And if they can't, my trusty main guard beside me, Ace, will have it completely handled, under control.
So as you're talking, just one eyebrow is just creeping further and further up this guy's head. He's remaining completely impassive in expression, except for the one eyebrow raising higher and higher to the point that you suspect this is an involuntary reaction, and he doesn't even know he's doing it. And when you get done talking, he's going to snap back to a completely straight-faced expression and says, "Well, I'm sure if there's any issue with the condition of the room at the time of your departure, we can submit a bill for expenses to your royal parents."
Of course. That's perfectly fine.
I see. Well, good day. And with that, he's going to bow again, and a little bit outside of protocol. He's gonna be a little bit quick to depart.
Well, that was a quick tongue, but not a useful one. You sure you have experience talking to people?
You hear me giggling
Not really.
in the background. Hey, quick tongue.
Anyway, I don't really have experience on land. This is my kind of first outing, so it's a little new for me. Also, I don't do so well with on-the-spot confrontation.
Well, you see, Princess, a great way to do that is by lying.
Well, I have learned that lying is not that isn't that great to do.
Just don't gently put a hand on your shoulder and just say, "Oh, we have so many things to teach you." And it's just don't pat your shoulder before walking out to lock. So, what weird contraption did you make?
Hang on. And we are that. There we go. Okay, put the head on right. There we go. And it's actually just a cute little bird. Seeing as it's going to be we're going into a palace, I don't want anything that looks threatening. You guys stay within 10 feet of me, and I can work some magic. I can help keep you up.
Nice.
So you're welcome to tell me if I'm wrong in my impression of this lock, but what I'm picturing was there was this fully furnished room with like a dining table and chairs and maybe a sofa and a couple of smaller tables. And somehow it's all been completely destroyed for the sake of something that's now the size of like a parakeet.
There's like a leg missing off of a chair. There's like splinters ripped out of the 4-post bed. It's not completely torn apart, but nothing was done that was hidden.
Hmm.
There's at least one whole chair that got smashed to bits just for the sake of art for making it look pretty.
Hmm.
Impressive, but also concerning, my good sir. Well,
All
hopefully
right.
no one questions why you now have a weird wooden bird.
Look at this thing. It's adorable. Would you question it?
So Signa can't exactly.
Probably.
Yeah, Signa can't exactly talk at the moment, but she's nodding as much as she can without stabbing herself.
Yeah. No, I agree with Signo, yeah.
I'll hide it under my coat.
All right.
Go through all that trouble. Ain't nobody gonna see what I put together here. Hell.
Best of luck.
All right. So while all that's going on, there's another much gentler and more polite knock at the door.
I'll look at Marina again. I can open it, or do you want me? Or you want me to open it?
I think it'd be best if I open it.
As you wish,
And
princess.
Marina will go and open it.
All right. So a couple of liveried guards who, and Marina, you would know this having spent some time around nobility. You would know to recognize the difference between guards who are there to do the heavy lifting and guards who are there for show. These guards are there for show. There are a couple of them standing outside the room. Upon seeing you, one of them is going to very gracefully bow and inform you that they are there to escort you to the palace for your audience with the king.
Oh, okay. Let me assemble my guards first, and I will be with you too.
He's going to bow again, and he's going to say, "We shall wait for you in the sitting room downstairs."
And Marina will curtsy and say thank you. And she'll turn around and look at Ace.
He'll look at the other two and go, "All right, folks, let's go."
Yep, they'll be waiting for us downstairs. We should hurry.
Signa at this point is eagerly following along purely out of an interest to get this over as quickly as possible now that they realize the discomfort of trying to hold a knife in their throat without stabbing themselves.
Yeah, it would not be a fun time.
All right. So you make your way to the palace, and it is what you would expect of the part of town around a palace. There are flowers everywhere, streets are clean. It's a little quieter than you would have expected. And as you approach the palace itself, Marina, I think you're going to particularly notice that in times of brewing war, a palace should be a hive of activity. And things actually seem a little bit quiet, a little bit subdued, even to the point that the number of guards on duty seems a little, just maybe a little light, although you don't know for sure because you haven't been here before.
Stay close. Usually things are not this quiet.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And as you approach, the ceremonial guard is going to announce to the guard on duty who you are and what you're there for. And the guard on duty is going to look around a little bit and actually bite his lip. And he's going to ask you, who told you to be here today?
My parents, of course. We've come to visit the princess.
Oh, your family are allied with the princess?
Well, of course, the ocean stars are well known around the people of nobility, so we'd like to keep tabs on everyone to make sure everyone's well taken care of.
Can I insight check the guard while she's having this conversation?
Absolutely. And anyone else who wants to may as well.
I'll feel free to. With a lovely 7, Ace is not focused on him.
Oh, yeah, I'll give it a shot.
You notice that the guard's
21.
armor is made out of armor. What did you say, Mark?
21.
21. All right. This guard is really nervous. He's in that situation of somebody who has been asked to do something that's way out of his pay grade that he couldn't say no to. What that might be, you have no idea. But yeah, I mean, this person, if he was any more nervous, he'd be visibly shaking. Signo, what did you roll?
Sorry, I rolled a 16.
16. Okay, so you don't notice anything more than what Locke noticed. And
I kind of elbow Marina a little bit, and sort of just try to whisper so that he can't like hear or read her lips. Listen, this guy's looking around. He's really nervous about something.
give us a stealth check, Locke.
Ooh, that is a natural 1.
Ooh.
Yeah, so this is the moment when the party finds out that Locke has the kind of whisper that carries better than his regular speaking voice.
Oh no.
I'm an outside friend.
Just kind of bop him upside the head.
So the guard's just gonna say, "Okay, just keep it quiet. You're going to ruin just get inside quickly."
Ruin what?
I'll start pushing Locke and Marina forwards.
No, I'm serious. I don't want.
Have a good day.
It's fine. It's fine. Shut up, Locke. Stop talking. You are so loud.
Listen, I want to know why I would want to know why he's scared in his own fucking house.
If he's scared inside his own house, I feel like there's something that you should be deeply concerned about that involves you talking.
Whatever.
Yeah, Signa's nodding at that as well, being very expert at being terrified with someone she deals with personally.
All right.
So as you actually start to get into the corridors of the palace, your livery guard is now he's trying to hide it, but he's particularly giving Locke some odd looks. But whereas he seemed pretty calm before and just seemed to have the demeanor one would expect from such a person, that exchange clearly unsettled him a little bit. But he's putting on a pretty good show of covering it up. He's explaining to Marina that there's a sitting area with a library and there'll be food and everything, and you'll be expected to wait there until it's your time for your audience with the royal family, which will be eventually. He doesn't really have a timeline exactly for that.
Mm.
As you're walking through the palace, Marina, what you're going to notice is that the number of people in the palace, both guards and servants, continues to be a little bit light. You're also going to notice that not only are there more people in the palace carrying weapons than you would expect, but the kind of people carrying weapons aren't really what you would expect. There are people who are a little bit rougher looking, a little bit too rough looking to be part of a royal entourage or anything like that, who seem to be walking around freely. And some of them actually make eye contact with not so much you, but with your party, and nod knowingly as they walk by. And they seem to all be on their own errands. Now, what the others of the group are going to notice is, since you all are from a little bit rougher areas, just rougher aspects of life,
Mhm.
if you live in a bad neighborhood long enough, you develop a sense of when it's about to go down. And there's just that feeling in the air of like something's going to go down in this place. Again, you don't exactly know what.
At this point,
So,
Ace is
yeah, go
going
ahead.
to whisper to Marina. Do you want me to roll stealth check on that?
Sure, why not?
All right. A little bit better. That's going to be a lovely 24 for stealth. So he's
Marina
don't.
and no one else hears her, and her just barely. Go ahead.
He's don't whisper. Something's going down. Something real bad is about to happen, and it is not looking good. You get a feeling for it when you were in such a area we grew up in. Stay on your toes, princess, because there's a very good chance someone's about to die in the next couple of minutes, or in the next couple of hours. We'll see which one.
Thank you for that.
All right. And with that very pleasant thought, as you're approaching the sitting area, you're going to see a couple of more ceremonial guards escorting an old friend. Captain Gorm is walking out of that area and on his way to where Marina, you knowing what you know about how palaces tend to be laid out, he's walking in the direction of what you reckon would be the throne room. And
Oh.
as I recall, the rest of the party were more or less disguised, except for you.
Mm-hmm.
So as he's walking away, he's going to make eye contact with you. And he's not going to stop what he's doing, but he is just going to wink and then keep moving.
It's at that moment I'm gonna tap my ear and I'm gonna actually message Gorm.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. What are you going to say to him?
Cap, fuck's going on in here?
You see Gorm walking down the hallway, and he pauses and slightly turns his head, and then he picks up his pace again, to the point that if you hadn't been looking right at him, you wouldn't have noticed it. The reply you get back is, if you don't know, you need to stay out of the way.
Concerning.
Goodness,
I'm not-
even the palace isn't safe.
I'm not even hiding it anymore because we already know my whisper is loud as fuck. Guys, I think we might actually be in a little bit of trouble here.
Gonna raise my eyebrow at Locke.
Yeah, Signa's joining you in that particular respect.
Let's just say that. Let's just say that my little bag of presents would. I feel kind of naked without it.
All right, here we are. Please make yourselves at home. There's food on the tables. There is a selection of books to read. We have books on every subject you could think of. We have bestiaries, we have histories, we have alchemy. Whatever subject you'd like to entertain yourselves with, if you're the literary type, you may do so. And as you're walking into the sitting area that normally should be just absolutely full of people waiting to get an audience with the ruling family, an area that probably would have people who had come back multiple days in a row just trying to get in to see them. This place is empty, except for the aforementioned trays of food.
Don't touch the food, guys. I don't like this at all.
Is this normal, Princess?
No, not at all. None of this is normal. There shouldn't be people, no offense, like this in the palace. They keep it well guarded and they make sure no one has weapons, but there's an odd amount of people keeping hold of their weapons nearby. And there are people not suited for the palace here as well.
We should take cover and try and hide.
Aye.
I know they know I know they already know we're in here, but if we make it harder for them to see us, whatever they're about to do will be a little harder to do.
They aren't the ones that are worrying me. This has
Cap.
all the makings of some kind of overthrow happening, and we are right in the smack dab middle of it.
So,
Cap,
go ahead.
you.
What's up?
It's up to you, Cap. What do you think we should do?
I think from sounds of it, there ain't too much that's gonna be happening right at this exact moment. Looking around, do I notice like anything that I would find specifically out of the ordinary around us?
Right in the immediate area, everything seems actually very, very quiet. Like I say, there's basically nobody here, which, again, odd because generally there would be.
Are there windows?
There are, but they're high up and they're not the kind that are meant to open.
Okay, so there's no hanging curtains in front of them or anything?
There are, but they're very decorative. They're not actually meant to cover everything. It's more of just an ornamental curtain rather than an actual functional curtain.
That's fine. I just want to run over to one of those curtains and cut the rope off of it.
Okay. You do that, and due to the suspicious lack of guards in this room, you get away with it.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
Signa.
Hello.
You're having a very familiar experience that you haven't had in quite a while, which is that you're feeling a bit of a connection to your gods. Why you're feeling it now, this far from the sea, is not immediately evident, but you feel the presence of your deities.
So Signa is going to very discreetly move to cough and cover her mouth and then transfer the dagger into her sleeve. And finally, she's going to speak to everyone else and say, something's more wrong than we thought. Because my gods are somehow involved here, inland, which shouldn't be possible.
Concerning.
Yes. I would guess that these people have made some sort of deal, perhaps. I mean, that would be the most... Wait, actually, can I tell what... is the connection I'm getting some sense of magic, or is it there's a specific intent behind the connection in one direction or another? Can I tell that?
Make either an arcana check or a religion check with advantage.
Right. So that's going to be a natural 20.
Damn.
So you have no idea how, but there's in some way, your deities are fundamentally connected to this place. And you're not even sure that they're connected to anyone in the palace. It's more like it's more of a like foundationally connected to it.
See. So yeah, I'm going to explain that to everyone else. They didn't make a deal. This place is tied to my gods fundamentally. There's something here that was done probably a long time ago, because in my years of living, I've never seen my gods insert this amount of influence inland, nor have I been aware of any of my cults, at least, which could have pulled something like this off.
Huh.
That's not a good sign.
Two things. First off, the party's gonna hear that little bird start chirping,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody's going to get
Mm-hmm.
hold on 7 temporary
Suspense.
hit.
Nice.
And as that happens, that rope that I just cut off of the curtain,
Uh-huh.
you're gonna see me kind of whip it in the air and then tug on it real hard, and it's gonna go straight up to its full length and just disappear into a hole. All right, everybody up into the hole. And I just start
Oh,
climbing.
goodness. What did you do?
I gave us a safe place to sit for a minute.
And hopefully they don't pop up while we're gone. That would be...
We can see out the window. We got
Okay.
we got about 3 by 5 foot space that we can see out.
All right. Ace will gesture for Marina to go up.
So as you begin to climb, one of the doors, not the one you came through, but one on the opposite side of the room, is going to slam open. And a couple of guards who are not of the ceremonial variety
Mm-hmm.
are going to stumble in. One of them is going to collapse on the floor, and he is horribly wounded. Another one is going to slam the door shut behind them. And among these guards, there's going to be someone else you recognize, which is the Princess Liliana. And one of the guards is going to shout, "It's a palace coup." He's now leaning against the door that they came through,
Mm-hmm.
with something banging against the other side, trying to knock him out of the way. And he's gonna look at the party, and he's gonna say, he's gonna look at he's gonna look at Marina and say, we're calling on the hospitality and the diplomatic immunity of your kingdom. Can you get the princess to safety?
Not without my guard.
Well, yeah, of course, we didn't expect you to escort her alone. Just we'll stay here and hold them off. Can you get the princess out of here?
Of course.
Ace will nod at that and immediately start rushing towards the princess, trying to make sure that he's between her and if the door opens, whoever comes through that door.
Okay. Locke, how are you and first, Locke, how are you responding to this situation?
Hanging onto the rope, I'm looking over. Princess, remember us?
She's gonna
Good morning,
look at
Princess.
you. She's gonna look at you and give the most dramatic eye roll you've ever seen.
I'm gonna
Fair.
slide down the rope and I'm gonna end the spell for rope trick.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to go.
And Signa, are you doing anything?
Yeah, Signa is going to be also moving to follow the party here while preparing to throw a dagger at whatever comes through that door.
Okay. So the two guards who are still on their feet do a pretty good job of bracing the door. And anytime anybody looks back or makes any gesture toward the door, they're just shouting at you to get the princess out of there.
Fair.
Whoever among you has high passive perception is going to swear you could hear Liliana mutter under her breath, "I would have been better off with the conspirators," but she doesn't resist as you lead her away.
Yeah, Ace is pretty much like has a hand on her wrist, more or less, or around her shoulder, depending on where he needs to put her, and just generally kind of moving her forward at the same pace as the rest of the group. All right, Signa, get in front. Marina, behind her, lock in front of me. Anyone who gets in front of us, move them out of the way, or stab them. Depends on which one's easier.
You got it, boss.
Don't worry, princess. You ain't dying today. You do, we might all be dying. He kind of mutters that last part.
Fair enough. All right. I didn't think to make a battle map for this, but this won't be a long encounter. As you get out into the hall, there are two of the mercenary types who seem to have been. They weren't necessarily looking for you to be here. They were just generally patrolling.
Mm-hmm.
And they see the princess. And one of them, looking at your group, clearly mistakes you for being part of what's going on. And he says, "Oh, you got her. Good. Come on. Bring her with us."
Yeah. Totally.
Love those. Ace will nod as he sees them. He's don't whisper in her ear. We're gonna make a break for her as soon as possible. I deeply suggest you follow along, because if you don't, well, you might get killed by someone. Not our group, though.
She doesn't say a word, but she is offering no resistance.
All right.
All right. So you follow the two of them, and you pass a couple of other people who sort of give a cheer, like, "Oh yeah, we got her, awesome!" And you find yourself approaching the throne room, which is most likely whatever is going to happen when the conspirators have the princess. You suspect it would happen there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are hallways branching off to the left and right from the throne room, so you can try to make a break for it, or you can just go on into the throne room. It's up to you all.
Am I able to use Misty Step with somebody?
I don't remember, but I'm going to allow it.
Okay. I'm essentially going to kind of whistle to Locke, actually, because he's known me for the longest. It's a whistle that I typically would use with him, especially over long distances on the boat. Kind of illustrate I'm doing something. It's just a very simple, straightforward whistle that is meant to carry over distance without being necessarily irritating. So I'm going to do that. I assume, Locke, that might get your attention.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Quick
and
question.
then
How close are the guards around us? Or
They're actually just a little bit ahead of you, and they're moving at a very casual pace. They don't have weapons drawn.
Okay.
So there's nobody behind us?
Not really. I mean, there are a couple of people sort of shambling around in the hallway, but they're not in a formation around you or anything.
You got it. Okay.
Cool. So,
yeah, so I nod to Ace, waiting for what he's about to do.
Cool. Holding on to her, I'm going to use Misty Step and travel into one of the hallways down the right. Essentially, you all see silvery mists kind of wrap around the two of us for a second before we're just disappeared. It sends you 30 feet to wherever you can see. So I'm going to do that down one of the hallways, specifically trying to find a hallway that, at least in Ace's mind, could lead outside. And so essentially you would just be teleporting down that route and immediately rushing to try to get outside as fast as possible.
All right. So I did look it up. Misty Step is just yourself. So here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Ace, you're going to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Okie dokie. That's going to be a 14.
All right. So in this moment, you're going to realize how much that spell was not meant to be used that way, as you just basically feel really hungover for a moment. And at this point, the princess is going to say more to you than she has since you've met her, which admittedly wasn't that long ago. She's going to say, "You blithering idiot, what did you do to me?" And then she's going to throw up on your shoes.
Ugh. Moved you out of harm's way for now. Ugh. That was not something that was fun. Time to get moving or someone's going to die. Ugh.
I see which hallway he went down, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you do see that. And I guess Signa and Marina can go ahead and each make a perception check.
Three.
Okay.
Unnatural 23.
Okay, so Locke and Marina do in fact see which hallway they went down. Signa is essentially chatting with one of the other guards and just doesn't quite pick up what happened.
Okay.
So we're gonna go.
Did I see that? Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, please.
Did I see that his Misty Step didn't get him too far and send a fog cloud down the hallway? So whoever goes after them can't really know that they went down there.
All right, so the hallway starts to fill with mysterious fog, and the people who were around didn't necessarily notice the Misty Step. It happened so fast and so unexpectedly. They're in the sort of aftermath of battle, so I didn't describe this as well as I could have. In the hallways, there isn't necessarily a lot of signs of battle in the sense of the gorier aspects of it, but there's definitely some signs of struggle, of things being knocked down, tapestries pulled off of walls, and the guards who are standing around have just a relieved expression of something, of a task completed and well done. So they're not necessarily on alert as all of this is happening. And when you start to fill the hallway with fog, there's just an air of general confusion. So yes, you do that. And are you going to move after them, or are you staying where you are? What are you doing? That's Marina, I was asking.
Sorry, what was that? I was looking at my.
So you essentially fill this hallway with fog, which creates a lot of confusion. Are you going to move after Ace and the princess, or are you going to stay where you are? What are you doing?
I'm going to try to subtly make my way to Ace and the princess.
All right, go ahead and give us a stealth check.
Unnatural 22.
All right, so yeah, you just vanish into this fog that you've created. And it's the kind of thing, Locke, you're looking that way, but you're still not quite sure what happened or where she went. Speaking of which, Locke, what are you doing?
So Signa is right there next to me.
Correct.
But Signa doesn't know which. I have a pretty good idea that Signa didn't notice which hallway they went down, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm gonna just kind of like put a hand on Signa's thigh.
Okay.
Hey, just go along with whatever happens next. I'm not even I'm not even being
Quiet.
I'm not even being quiet about it. you're going to see a couple of things happen. First, you're going to see me pull a small marble-sized pellet and throw that at the ground. That's a flashbang. And they're not going to be able to take any reactions. And in the same moment, I'm going to pull a couple of small mechanical flies out of a pocket that's underneath my collar. And I'm going to use 2 sorcery points to twin spell Vortex Warp. And both me and Signa just vanish. As long as Signa doesn't resist.
I mean, Signa has no reason to resist at this point, so she won't.
Okay, yeah. So me and Signa both vanish and then reappear like 10 feet within like 10 feet of Ace.
Nice.
Okay. So, are you all going to try to continue to make your way down this hallway?
Ace would be, yeah. He in this not quite delirious state, but in this definitely almost hungover state, he would be kind of pretty much grabbing the princess, chucking her arm over her shoulder, and essentially dragging/carrying her as best as she can walk, just forwards through the mist, trying to find any door, window opening or something, as he does not like the confined hallway.
All right. So, as you're doing that, you notice a door to your right, and you try to subtly open the door, or just open the door as one normally would, but you just kind of blunder into it and discover the hard way that it's locked.
Oof.
And you notice a door on the other side, and as you blunder that way, it actually does in fact open under your, essentially just your weight falling through it. And while the rest of the party can't necessarily clearly see this, you can hear that a door opened that way, so you, in a general sense, know where Ace and the princess are. I need the other 3 of you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Fancy. Ooh.
Natural 20.
That's a 9 for Marina.
Okay.
That's going to be a 1 for me.
Oh no.
Throw away your dice.
This is like the 3rd pair of dice I'm on, man.
Okay.
Fucking dex rolls hate you, goddamn.
It's always
All right.
the dex rolls, I swear.
So, Marina, you step in the vomit that's on the floor from the other princess, and you very nearly slip and fall. And then, Signa, you also step in it and skid directly into Marina, inadvertently headbutting one another. But neither of you are seriously injured by this misadventure. Are you all going to continue to follow Ace, or are you doing anything different?
Yeah, I'm going to continue following.
I'm going to
Yeah.
continue following for Ace.
Same.
All right. So where you find yourself is in essentially a washing room, and what this specifically is the washing room where they clean the dishes and plates and things like that for the throne room itself. And there's no one here whatsoever. Now, further to the back of the room, you can see that there is an exit that goes somewhere deeper into the castle. Where exactly, you can't know because none of you have been here before. There is also another doorway that looks like it goes back in the direction of the sitting room where you were when everything started to go sideways.
Being able to actually see without the mist now, he's gonna look at the princess and go, "Alright, princess, you're the one who knows this place better than I do. Where are we going?"
What am I, a scullery maid? How would I know where to go from here?
I assume you lived here.
Do you see an apron on me? Do you think I spend time chatting with the dishwashers? How would I know?
Can I try
royalty.
something?
What'd you say, Signa?
So this place is connected to my gods, right? Like the entire place?
There is a feeling of that, yes.
Alright. So I'm going to try and channel the last dregs of actual faith I have and sort of pray for some degree of direction so that I can prevent the wars they have commanded me to do.
Go ahead and make a religion check with advantage.
All right. So that's going to be an unnatural 23.
Okay. Yeah, if you rolled a natural 23, I would have questions. Apparently your dice roll ones and just the number 23. Anyway, yes, so you don't necessarily feel this in the sense of anything particularly coherent, but you feel a general pull in the direction of the door that goes deeper into the castle.
That the one that goes down. We need to go that way. My gods are telling me that's the correct move here, and well, so far they haven't killed any of us. So
And we'll follow that then.
them.
Best lead we got. Come on, princess.
What gods are these? At this point, she actually is. She's still not fighting you, but she's starting to ask more questions and protest a bit.
Oh, the
And
deep-
perhaps most notably, she doesn't immediately go along with what you're telling her to do.
Trust me,
Oh,
if you learned the answer to that question, you'd be a lot more concerned. But just to put your mind at ease, it's gods relating to her. I gestured to Princess Marina. Gods inside of her general domain, underwater sea gods. This area apparently has some kind of connection to them, and my friend over there has a connection to them as well. So they're currently navigating us out of this area so that we aren't going to be cooed alongside you, and that way we don't all die horribly, as their gods and a benefactory of mine wishes to keep you alive for as long as possible. So if you'd like to continue to breathe, I would suggest you come along.
Well, as a meeting with some sort of unspecified deep gods sounds just wonderful, I think I will, in fact, take my chances going another way. Good day, sir. And she's going to turn on her heel, and she's attempting to leave you.
Yeah,
Marina, the bottom.
Ace just kind of sighs. If only you went along. I believe, yeah, you did give Marina something for that, right?
I gave her basically chloroform.
Mm-hmm. Marina, you gotta use the chloroform.
Yay, the chloroform, let's go!
All right, and for this, I'm not going to have you do any checks because while in a technical sense you are both princesses, Princess Marina Oceanstar has been having adventures in the deep and learning magic and combat and adventuring with pirates, whereas Princess Liliana of Troya Noah has been attending banquets and doing embroidery and apparently getting kidnapped a lot. So it's just not a physical contest. It's sort of adult versus child. So you now have an unconscious princess and a way forward provided by the ancient deep gods of the sea.
Whew. All right, who's going to carry her? Who's strong as one of us? Signa, you strong? I don't remember if you're strong. You kind of have changed.
Yeah, I'm strong now. That was the exchange for losing my magic, apparently. So
Nice.
sure.
All right, I'll pick her
All
up, and something attacks us, I'll kill it.
Yeah, turns out rigor mortis is really good when you need to carry things for a long time.
Oh my
And
god.
with that, I'm going to try and pick up the princess and carry her.
All right, so you do that, and Signa, you just have a sense of this path ahead, and what you find is you're winding your way deeper into the castle. You do find there are some servants down here, but they really scatter as you all are passing. They recognize that you all are nobility and or people of a violent disposition who they have no interest in tangling with. And something you're going to notice on some of these castle servants, Signa, that doesn't quite make sense is that some of them are wearing not necessarily loud and proud, but they're wearing like religious pendants that will have something like a tentacle wrapped around them, which is a way that followers of your gods signal to each other who they are without being too obvious about it.
As I go, I'm going to use my free hand to actually pull out. I'm assuming my holy symbol would look something like this then. So I'm going to pull out my own to indicate some degree of camaraderie.
Okay, so the response you get goes from being just sort of deferentially moving aside to people like looking at you with a little bit more recognition, and you'll actually hear somebody off to the side say, "It's her. It's the one we heard about." The rest of the party have no idea what any of this is about, by the way. So you reach a point where you are at an apparent dead end, and an older man who looks like he works in whatever the furthest, dirtiest part of the castle is from where royalty would be. I'm not trying to be crude about it, just this guy looks like he probably shovels shit out of the middens or something like that, literally. He's going to walk up, bow to you, Signa, not to Marina, the princess, and he's going to
Excuse you?
reach down and grab the floorboards and pull open a hatch that was hidden in the floor. Signa, I think your microphone's off.
So Signa is just going to nod with the most smug expression possible. Go, my gods will remember you, good sir, and perhaps see about getting you better employment before heading down.
All right, Ace will follow.
Down in the hole.
Okay, let's do this.
All right. And this man who his smell is more memorable than anything else about him, after Marina begins down the ladder below, he will close the hatch behind you.
Honorary Princess of Elder Gods. That's a new title for Signa.
Now, does everyone in the party have dark vision?
I do not believe Ace does, no. I didn't take that invocation.
Okay.
Marina has dark vision.
From being a druid, or?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, it's on both of her sheets, so.
Okay. All right. And I know Dompier have dark vision, and I know goblins have dark vision. So
Tritons have dark vision, which is why she has it.
Oh, okay, great. For some reason I didn't know that. Okay. So Ace, you have a problem, which is that it's pitch black down here. Now you do have you can light a lantern or something like that. We'll say you have that in your regular gear.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to light something like that, or are you going to just rely on your companions to guide you? How are you dealing with that situation?
He'll pull out his hooded lantern, and he'll put on his belt for easy access. But he'll pretty much grab the shoulder of whoever is in front of him, and use them for now. If he needs the lantern or something happens, he'll quickly grab it. But for now, he's going to rely on them being in the darkness as something symbolic, and he doesn't want to disrupt that. Not if they're getting out.
Okay, fair enough. So what the rest of you see is you pass through a fairly rough tunnel of rough-hewn stone. And I mean, it's what you'd expect. It's dirty, it's nasty, it smells bad. But as you go, that gives way into a stairway. And what that stairway leads down to is a wide open space. And there's a walkway that if you were to trace it broadly, it would form a circle, but it's not a circle. It's parts of the walkway are curved, parts of it move in straight lines. Everything is at unsettling angles to everything else, and there's no symmetry to it other than, as I say, it's a generally circular walkway. What rises up in the middle of this walkway is a statue easily 30 feet high, and the cavern you're in is much larger than that. But the statue easily 30 feet high of a tentacled, something like a kraken, but with a much more human face, with the largest rubies you've ever seen. I mean, rubies the size of, I'm trying to think of what even to compare it to. Rubies the size of like a comfortable sitting chair make up the eyes of this thing. And it has the effect of, as you're walking down the stairway, it just feels like the eyes are staring directly at you. And Signa, you recognize those eyes because those are as good of a reputation or as good of a representation, I should say, as you could possibly hope for of the eyes in the deep you saw when you first made your warlock pact, when you were sinking into the ocean after that wreck. And that seems like an excellent place for us to leave it for tonight.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this rather crazy episode. We weren't expecting a royal queue to happen, but it has happened, and now we are down deep within the castle, possibly seeing the elder gods that Signa used to believe in. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and if you guys want to see the next episode, we'll be going back live again next week at 7 p.m. PST on Wednesday, which hopefully we'll be able to keep every single week, but it depends on whether or not I work closing on Wednesdays, because at least currently that means I would be closing at 6, which is not quite enough time for us to get things done. But I don't work next week, so we'll be coming back next week. And again, if you guys want to see some other content or support us in any of our endeavors, feel free to go check out that link tree and go check out Benny at AutisDM on TikTok. And huge shout out to Pastry Boy Fritter. All right, have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.